This is something I'm falling in love a little bit more all the time with Google Docs, and I'm going to share a lot of activities from Google Docs. Many of these can be adapted to independent language learning, or, sort of if you've got students that you work with sort of one-on-one, you've got different, different students in different places, you do some tutoring, this will work too. So we're going to talk about task journals and vocabulary notebooks, fluency journals, collaborative projects, and lesson plan templates. So the first one are task journals or vocabulary notebooks. So one concept I'd like to just take a minute to talk about is tasks. So in a language, I love languages. So I always wanted to know, how does it work? What does it do? What do these things mean? I wanted to do the grammar exercises, and they were helpful and interesting to me. But at the end of the day, being able to build your skills for anybody is about being able to do tasks. So I have this list of tasks. It's very simple. It's the Spanish tasks. And, these are just expressions of courtesy that can be used in any task. So for example, you might use this when you're lost or at a restaurant, or you're at a hotel, you need to go somewhere, etc. And a task can be as simple as, greeting somebody, right? Do you know how to greet somebody in your target language? Or do your students know how to do that, right? And it can be a lot more complicated. I always like to think of the Church of Latter-day Saints, about their mission training program. And, they train people to go all around the world to recruit, to share have people join their religion, to share the word of the Book of Mormon. And regardless of, whatever your feelings might or opinions might be about that or any other specific religion, that's not really kind of the point of what I'm talking about. The point is a task. They have this big task, is to bring more people into their church, to connect with people, to persuade them. And all of their language study revolves around that specific task. So so everything is learned to go towards communication. So I love to keep journals to be able to do this kind of thing. And you can have students do this too. So for example, whatever it is they're doing, a simple Google Doc can serve as a great tool for them to build their vocabulary. And it's always there. You can get the phone app, you can access it from anywhere. So what do I need to, fill in the blank, X, whatever it may be. So what you can do with Google Docs is really great. There's a couple of options that you can do with these task journals. So I want to talk just a second about Google Translate. Google Translate is not ideal, of course. You have to use it with a lot of caution, but the reality is that they're always reviewing documents that are translated by humans. They're always improving, and you can give them suggestions for improvement. So while it's not 100% perfect, it's always improving, and it can be a great quick way to get some words and phrases down. And in Google Docs, if you build them in Google Docs, they have the built-in dictionaries. If you don't know a word, it's fantastic. So it serves as a great way to kind of center vocabulary that you might need or your students might need for a task. And this is a beginning task. This is being courteous, right? And that fits into a lot of different tasks. I would take them and have them do in a teaching situation, I would have them do a dialogue, right? Where they have to make up a situation, and they have to write down what everyone would say, and then they kind of perform it, memorize it, whatever. It's great practice. So Google Docs, great for collecting and using vocabulary for real communication. So here's another couple of examples. So one way that you could do this, of course, you can keep it all in your Google Doc. And one thing that's really great is that in Google Docs, you can they have great, you can do spell check. So it does things like helps you put your diacritical marks in the right places. It's really handy. You can also take this, and one thing I do is I really like to write things out by hand. I really believe in the hand to brain, help remember things. So as you're using your Google Doc and your Google Translate to find what you need to do a certain task, you can kind of write that out. So you see here, it's this task is returning a stained shirt to a resistant store manager. And you see I have a lot of language here. You know, what are the things that that I might be able to say? How could I do this with a lot of politeness? And again, I can practice these over and over again. And in a classroom situation, I would have them do something with it, right? Do a little simulation, a little skit, a little dramatization. So fantastic.